You owe me a tip, Linda snapped, her cheeks flaring a furious red as she stood in my driveway, brandishing a yellow citation like a weapon. I pour my heart into keeping this neighborhood pristine, and I deserve a little extra for my trouble. I blinked, my jaw practically on the pavement, unable to wrap my head around what I was hearing. Was this woman Linda Harper president of our Homeowners Association, seriously demanding cash for slapping me with a fine over a trash can left out too long? I'm sorry, what? I stammered, glancing around to see curtains twitching as neighbors peeked at the spectacle. Linda's sleek, blonde bob bounced as she nodded, her manicured nails gleaming in the sunlight. A 20 Fantram gratuity is standard, she said, extending her hand like I was supposed to slap a 20 in it. It ensures I keep a close eye on your property. Her tone darkened when I didn't budge. Cross me, and I can make your life here very difficult. I know every rule in the book, and I'm not afraid to use them. Little did I know, this absurd showdown was just the start of a suburban saga that would end with police sirens and the satisfying click of handcuffs. 3 months earlier, I moved into green VYEW Meadows, lured by its manicured lawns, sparkling community pool, and a realtor's promise of an HOA that keeps property values sky high. That VY Giants, I soon learned, was mostly Linda Harper, a 50-something woman who wielded her HOA presidency like she was running a small dictatorship. My first run-in with her came 10 days after I unpacked. I got home from work to find a neon orange notice plaster on my door. Saw violation, non-compliant mailbox color, regulation the 142C. Saw the mailbox was the same rusty red it had been when I bought the house. When I called the number on the notice, Linda picked up instantly, her voice dripping with smugness. The pre-VYS owners had a special exemption for their board sale VYC, she said. That ended with the sale. Repainted in one of the 6 approved colors within 72 hours, or it's a due law 25 daily fine. Grumbling, I repainted the perfectly fine mailbox a dull sage green, even emailing Linda a photo to prove it. I thought that'd be the end. Instead, it painted a target on my back. The violations started rolling in like clockwork. My garden hose wasn't coiled tightly enough. My trash bins lingered curbside for 5 hours after pickup. My front door wreath had unapproved seasonal hues. Each notice arrived hand-delivered by Linda, who'd hammer my doorbell at all hours, smirking as she chirped, just doing my job. Someone's got to keep standards up. By the 6th violation, something about my lawn being a 1/4 inch too tall, I was fuming. That's when she hit me with the tipping demand, standing in my driveway with her hand out like a waiter expecting a fat gratuity. This isn't how it works, I said, finding my spine. You're a volunteer, not a landscaper. I'm already paying HOA fees. Her eyes narrowed to slits. I see you're going to be trouble, she hissed. The last guy who played tough sold his house under a mountain of fines. Pity. She spun on her heel and stormed off, vowing to watch my property like a hawk. True to her word, Linda turned my street into her personal patrol route, clipboard in hand, eyeing my house like a vulture circling roadkill. Neighbors whispered warnings by the community mailboxes. I'd been labeled a problem resident. One Saturday, as I washed my car in the driveway, an active VY the HOA handbook explicitly allowed Linda marched up, phone raised, snapping photos of the soapy water trickling toward the street. Excessive water use and runoff onto community property, she declared. That's a due law 100 fine, payable now. When I challenged her, she shoved a crisp document at me. New emergency water conservation rule, passed yesterday. As a courtesy, I'm notifying the worst offenders. She paused, her voice syrupy. A small token of thanks could turn this into a warning instead of a fine. That was it. I slipped my phone into my shirt pocket, hit record, and faced her. Are you saying I should bribe you to ignore this? Her face twisted with outrage. It's not a bribe, it's a gratuity for my personal Sarah VYC. Do you know how much time I spend keeping this place perfect? The board barely pays me a stipend. My ears perked up. The board saw you? I thought HOA roles were volunteer. Her eyes flickered with panic before she backtracked. Administrative stipend for supplies and costs. Now about that fine. I pushed harder. I want to see the bylaw and have the board re-VYEW this before I pay a dime. Her composure cracked. You ungrateful little, she stopped herself. Fine. Expect a letter from our lawyer. And don't park on the street. Tonight emergency hydrant checks mean any car within 50 feet gets towed. I stopped recording and played it back. Every word was crystal clear. Her bribe demand, her admission of board payments, her threats. That night, I posted an anonymous question on our neighborhood's online forum. Has anyone else been pressured to tip the HOA president for violations? The floodgates opened. Dozens of neighbors shared stories of shelling out $20 to $50 to dodge Linda's wrath. One reply stopped me cold. Tom, a retired attorney 2 houses down, wrote, our bylaws forbid any board member compensation. All roles are volunteer. I've suspected foul play for years, but lacked proof. Armed with my recording and Tom's bombshell, I called an emergency board meeting, Leah VYing Linda out. When I played the audio and showed the forum posts, the board was floored. We've never authorized payments to Linda or anyone, the treasurer said, his face ashen. But she's explained away odd expenses as administrative costs. We trusted her. The VYC president, a retired accountant, demanded the financial records. What they found was staggering. $37,000 in administrative fees funneled to Linda over 2 years, plus thousands in unauthorized enforcement bonuses. Tom's voice was grim. This isn't just HOA overreach. It's fraud, intimidation, maybe extortion. We need the police. We filed a report, backing it with the recording, financial records, and neighbor statements. 3 days later, on a sunny morning, 2 police cruisers rolled up to Linda's pristine colonial home. The neighborhood froze as officers knocked, warrant in hand. I watched from my porch as Linda answered in a bathrobe, her face shifting from annoyance to horror. This is absurd. I'm the HOA president, she bellowed, loud enough to wake the dead. I keep this place in line. These people would live like slobs without me. The officers listed the charges: fraud, extortion, falsifying records, running an illegal money scheme. Her indignation hit fever pitch. I deserve compensation. These ungrateful residents should thank me. As they cuffed her, she spotted me across the street. You, she shrieked, thrashing against the officers. This is your fault. I'll sue you into the ground. The cops eased her into the cruiser as neighbors stepped onto their lawns, witnessing the tyrant's fall. At her arraignment, the charges piled up: 7 counts of fraud, multiple extortion counts, falsified records, and an illegal collection scheme. Bail was set at $50,000, with a restraining order barring her from contacting us. The prosecutor said she faced up to 8 years in prison and overdue $100,000 in fines. In court, Linda's polished facade crumbled. They were breaking the rules, she sobbed, mascara streaking her face. Someone had to enforce standards. I deserved something for it. The neighborhood exhaled, free at last from a rain. Standing on my porch that night, I realized the power of a single recording and a community that finally said enough saw.